we all gathered here, and I just have to proceed, begin the presentation. So this is a presentation by me, and since the first presentation by Cynthia, it was around mindset. We talked about mindset, and we came to Silas. We talked about body language, and then we came to Raymond. He talked about finance skills. Then public speaking. Anthony's public speaking. Uh, Brenda's investments. Linda talked about emotional intelligence, and Moses was the previous. Had one thing in common. They had one thing about improving ourselves. Like it's all about improving and getting to a certain point where you are not like the previous time. So before now on the introduction, the I to get this to get my topic for today, I had to like go deep. I was reading a book. The book was about philosophy. The book was about philosophy, and any one of you who knows anything about philosophy? Cynthia, do you know anything about philosophy?
Okay, I would put it in the way
Yeah.
it's not exactly, and I make it very clear.
Yeah.
It's not exactly philosophy. It's not exactly the people. But
The philosophical landscape is so huge, and there are numerous philosophy across the globe. Some who lived a long time ago, some who live even right now, and they all seem to preach the same message. The message philosophy is actually just a principle to get like a principle or guidance to the people live life. Okay, and human spanning centuries and throughout history. So different minds have crafted philosophy, and there are like legendary thinkers who include people like Karl Marx, Niccolo Machiavelli, Seneca the Younger, who have been reading a lot, and Aristotle, known for his comprehensive studies in ethics, Plato, John Locke, Karl Marx, Seneca the Younger, and that's Western philosophy. But now and there is the other type of philosophy, the Japanese philosophical concept, which we'll be talking about today. So now, leaving alone the Western, you'll know why I went to the Japanese way, because there is a lot of the Japanese have a way of dealing with life, and a way of technology and everything with innovation, and their philosophy is all about guiding principle of life. And I read about the Japanese philosophy, and I thought it's a good thing that I'll have to show you and inform you about them. So the Japanese philosophy, there are a lot of them, but principle that caught my eye, we have some famous Japanese principle that I know of, which are the ikigai, reason for being, the purpose of life, the reason you wake up each morning, the reason, intersection of what you love, what you are good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. The second Japanese principle is the shikata gana. You can anybody who understands the language. I know Raymond understands because Japanese and we have some thing in common. The shikata, you understand the shikata. So translates, it cannot be helped. Some things there is no alternative. It emphasizes the acceptance and resilience in the face of advanced control. What you can control. I'll explain more as we proceed. Then there is the wabi sabi. This concept embraces the beauty of imperfection, transience, and the natural world. It encourages us to appreciate the simple and unadorned natural ways of life, accepting the transience and imperfection of life. And there is the gamma, to stay strong, control how you react. You see, sometimes we usually lose control and like react on ways that we did not plan to react, or ways that will eventually get to regret. And then we have the Shu Hari, it refers to stages of learning and mastery. So emphasizes the importance of following tradition and learning from others before developing one's own style of approach. So for Shuhari in impermanence and transient, I think it shares a little bit with Wabi Sabi, describe the bittersweet feeling of appreciation for the fleeting nature of life. It has a reminder of the impermanence and transience of all things, including joy and sorrow, beauty and decay. It's about cherishing the moment, acknowledging its beauty, and feeling grateful for the time we have. You see, we like not change. And the Zen is improvement. So continuous getting and Zen. So it's a philosophy of continuous incremental improvements, always seeking to improve. It means it's about making small incremental changes or ongoing sustainable improvements in all aspects of life, from personal development to business operations, in order to achieve long-term progress and growth. This is a good change, aka continuous improvement. So, like I was saying, we started what we started this pitch Friday with what with the mindset, and I got something about mindset. I understood what mindset is. I never thought I was. Then we came to Silas about body language and all that, how how you can improve on it, and I started implementing it in my daily life. Then we came to Raymond. I understood finance. You can decide to make larger steps or bigger steps, of which only a few of us can do it. But the most of you, or the most of the people on earth, this is the right way. But most people try to go this way. But Kaizen encourages us to take the little incremental steps instead of waiting for to take that bigger step, which might never come. So the historical context of Kaizen is a concept that started in the 1940s, and it started in the United States of America during during the Second World War. So Linda, when did the Second World War start? You remember the what? You remember the Nagasaki, the Hiroshima and the Nagasaki atomic bomb. Now the USA were moving with a lot of troops in the war. They were investing in a lot of troops in the war. Now, the industries in the USA needed to provide the guns, needed to provide the machinery to go and fight. But they also needed soldiers. And that time the soldiers were needed in the war. So they had to implement this style called training within industries, whereby you have people, but you have to train them. You have to train them in-house, because all the qualified people were needed where? Were needed in Japan during the war. Yeah. So they decided on this part of training within industry. Now, training within the industry, it was they had to get new people, start to train them, and once they grasp it within themselves, they have to do what? They have to send the remaining people to the war. Now that's where it started. But the Americans didn't make it that huge like the Japanese did. Now you see, in 1945, during the after the surrender of the Japanese, they America now decided to do what? To help Japanese now come up. Now, you will note a very big difference between Tokyo, Japan, and Nairobi, Kenya. We got our independence in 1960. These guys were bombed in 1945 to end the Second World War. They were like, I don't know, they were like, go to where? Go to Japan to start helping them rebuild from what had happened. I think it was you say saying sorry. Now, this is the post-World War Second Japan. So American introduced by business American teachers. So one of these business American teachers was a person called Edward Deming. Edward Deming was taken to Japan and started who knew how to work. Who knew how to work? They wanted what? Who knew how to do something? They had to train within themselves. So getting new people was not the option, or hiring a lot of people was not. They wanted to utilize what was there at the time, because there were not too many resources at the moment. So, and with that, it takes us to the Toyota manufacturing system. Now, Kaizen this day is actually known as the Toyota way. Toyota they embody Kaizen to its core. So Toyota founded in the started to implement this Kaizen as soon as it got there. This is Edward Deming. As soon as it got there, so Toyota came up with a strategy of training with industry and getting there, utilizing the resources that were there, not looking for like not looking for like huge boost in the not looking for a huge boost in what they were producing at the time, because in the 1940s and 1950s there were aren't too much resources, and they were trying to come up from a bombing that had happened, so very limited resources. So before we look at Toyota success story, because I know most of you know what Toyota is. Toyota is a very prominent company, and they have a lot of cars, especially in Africa. Two Kaizens, two ways in which you can improve your work. Like for example, you have seen that there is a windscreen dispenser which was done manually. Now to eliminate that, you see, we think like 7.3 seconds is very minimal, but once it accumulates over time, it's it makes a difference. Now they created what they created they every person is tasked to come out with two presents each and every month, a way they can simplify their work, a way they can simplify what they do, their repetitive tasks or anything. But now imagine 600 ideas each and every month for 12 months. You have like 7,200 what ideas in a year, and that's why Toyota has managed to Toyota has managed to, for years, Toyota has been among the, to maintain his status among the world's largest automobile manufacturers. It produces 10.3 million vehicles sold. Like in 2023, it has produced over 10.3 million vehicles sold. A record year. This is a global market breakdown in 2023. 85.16% sales outside of Japan. Like it looks like we the entire world is there, consumes a lot of a lot of the cars, a lot of the Toyotas in out of the native country of Japan. We have 31.1% in North America. Even with companies like GMC Motors and Cadillac, it's competing in America, which is known to like purchase their own products. We have 37% in Asia, hybrid vehicles and all that. So it shows that all them change and incremental improvement. So in a recent survey, 94% of people reported actively working on some form of self-improvement, whether for health, career, or personal skills, from a study done by YouGov. So you all agree that everybody has something they are working on. Everybody has something they're working on, whether they say it or they don't say it, they are working on. Maybe, I don't know, but that question will come later. So another study is, while 50% of people make New Year's resolutions aimed at self-improvement, only 8% succeed in keeping them. This speaks to the challenge of sustained improved, but also to the fact that millions are still striving annually to better themselves in some way, as per a study done by the University of Scranton. So each and every year, so we are actually in November, next week is December, and January, I'm sure every one of you will be coming up with like a New Year resolution. This is my New Year's goal and all that. But studies say that only 8% of people succeed in keeping them out of the 50%. Now, I don't know what I don't know what people are usually doing. What I don't know what anybody is working on next year, but I'm sure that sometimes usually create like I did not say that. So you might make like your New Year's resolution is going to the gym and getting some workout. But you see, first month, second month, third month, you are like, man, perhaps I'll try again. Like I'll try again next year, or I'll try again next month, and it keeps on accumulating to the other one. Because you see, going to work out or achieving a task of this, and it's not like everything that you see, but it's it's an intrinsic what? It's an intrinsic yep. It's something that involves the brain. It involves the entire body to change. It's not something that you can just wake up and say like it's a more thing like I'm gonna change and it changes. It takes time, and that's why we have to discuss about the psychology of change in regards to Kaizen. Now about change, there are three big lies about change, and the first lie is change is hard. Now, change. What do you think, Linda? Change do you think change is hard?
No,
Why would you say that?
because I think it's all in the mind. So if you put your mind to change something, then it will but then I think it's just a moment. So it's I wouldn't say change.
You wouldn't say change is hard.
Yeah.
Well, you are one of the few people who think change is hard. Is not hard. A lot of people believe that change is very hard, and like we saw, there are those steps. People do what people look. The explanation is not exercise, because people say like you gotta sweat more, you gotta do this more. The explanation is not exercise. The explanation is sitting, working for 1 hour and sitting for 6 hours puts puts your muscle into sedentary sedentary position, which limits. Yeah, if you're seated for 6 hours, like you're sitting for that long, you are doing what you're putting your muscles on what you're putting on muscle on sedentary, and with the muscle being put down like that for long hours, you have like you you inhibit the enzyme KKI, which breaks the fats in the oil, like which breaks down the fats in the blood, and you are not the metabolism does not work like it's supposed to be.
So you inhibit that.
Yeah, you inhibit that enzyme
Because you're seated.
because you are seated.
So I should walk and run all the day.
No, now listen. Here's the best part again. You the explanation of this is just gravity. Like standing up, walking. All right, standing up, walking can make the difference. You can go to that gym for 1 hour and sit for 6 hours. Like the effect is diffused in just 1 hour. Now, when you keep on standing and walking, it's like you are just everything goes back to normal because you are now gone back to normal. You are walking. That's an activity. Now, it's like staying still for long hours. Now, here doubles the metabolic rate, like taking instantaneous breaks from that sitting. Let's say you might be sitting from 1 hour. You things like fidgeting during calls. Let's say you were sitting and you receive a call. Instead of just sitting there, you can just walk around to just break that sedentary aspect of it. Walk further, improve bodily functions. Let's say you're coming with a car. Instead of just parking it,
Of Kenyans are going to die of heart attacks because probably we say not even 25, we say maybe 5%.
Yeah.
Or even 10%.
Yeah. Julie is a single mom of 2 kids. You understand how a single mom an American household has to work, like, let's say, two jobs and all that, and the story about independent women and all that. So she is over she she is overwhelmed, and it looks like she's depressed. So she goes to seek medical attention in a doctor's to a doctor's place, and these are going to the doctor's place. This psychologist by the name Robert, who I got this concept of Kaizen and I decided to teach you, says that the female now Julie says that she's tired, and the first thing he saw when he looked at her, it was she looked like a little bit overweight, and if with time it will get worse. The moment she will continue getting getting adding more weight, it will get worse. So the other doctor uh, wanted to recommend, like, she should, the obvious thing, now go to the gym, do some exercise, eat what not. You see, going to the gym is not something that you just wake up, like Raymond can attest to that. You just don't wake up and go to the gym.
Okay.
It requires some sort of willpower. It requires some sort of consistency. Cynthia said here, there is this part of mindset. Some days you see you should start exercising, and psychology of change tells you that, you see, the mind is just, it will try and resist that. Yeah. No, now Dr. Robert, now the the psychologist told now told Julie, instead of because she will try you will recommend going to the gym or doing exercise, she will try and fail. So he told her, why don't you just try marching in front of the TV for 1 minute every day? Yeah, why don't you try marching in front of the TV for 1 minute every day? Like, do you think marching in front of the TV could make a difference to somebody's health or life in terms of physicality? Moses, do you think 1 minute of marching in front of the TV would make a change? Yeah, everything. Just marching for 1 minute like this, like you like kind of. Do you think it could make a difference?
Yes.
What difference would it make?
If this person that has been maybe kazi anafanya ni kukaa
Yeah.
the whole day, that will make part of ile walikuwa wanatuambia sikae sana for 6 hours. The max the meditation labda lala. So before that, see part of exercise here to relax the muscles that you are.
Yeah. But you see, this person is like has gained weight and they are trying to cut it, and you're telling them, you see, you should just go and march in front of the TV. Most of the time when you go to the hospital, I'm usually impatient with this. I want medicine that works instantly. And these days we are in the period of also getting to that. I will finish the story once we get to that. So she's an overweight patient working 2 jobs. Traditional approach failed. Go to the gym, do what it failed, and now she's like at the brink of everything else. She doesn't have money for liposuction and all that, and she really wants it. And Dr. Robert told her you should just go and march for 1 minute. Now Julie went home because this is something so minute, like marching in front of the TV for 1 minute, and she did that, and she came back excited to Dr. Robert and told him that I marched for 1 minute. What else can I do? And again he told me, now try marching for like 30 minutes. As you watch news, just march for 30 minutes. As you watch TV, now you are not going to the gym to like in front of the TV, just march for 30 minutes. Now it's something possible. And she did that incrementally. Like, she did that incrementally, and she came back and she told me, now you can like do what? You can start stretching in the house, like march for 10 minutes or march for 1 hour and start stretching in the house. Another big lie we believe is big steps lead to big results.
That's you.
Yeah?
That's you.
Kasongo. Eventually lead to big results. Yeah? With big steps are like I showed with my initial presentation. With my initial presentation of the lab that people go, we believe that big steps, but sometimes they might do what they might derail you. So the American Heart Foundation states that it recommends that we should do like 30 minutes of exercise for 5 days minimum. Yeah, 5 days minimum in a week. 30 minutes of exercise. But you tell me which employer is ready to give you 30 minutes to, like, let's say break for lunch, or otherwise in the morning. Most of sometimes you work late, you work till like around maybe 8, and you carry the machine home, you continue that work. In the morning you have to wake up early, you have to beat the jam, you have to do that. Same with Cynthia, same with Raymond. You have to beat the jam, the Thika Road jam and all that. So you can't tell me that each and every day you'll be guaranteed to have 30 minutes. With the Kaizen implementation, and they grew to become what? To become a company too. It grew to become a company that other companies look up to, and they build a portfolio that I think most car companies envy. But it reached in 2002, and they decided that I think we want to be the best of the best. We want to get at the top. So they decided that we want to increase our production. We have to open more companies. We have to increase the car production, and like, let's say if you're producing, let's say 100 units per day, each factory should produce like 150. Now, all these companies did what? All this came to be, and they opened shop in a lot of countries. But now, the suppliers were not able to meet their demands, because you see there are raw materials that are needed. The suppliers were not able to meet their demands. There was a lot of work for these people. There was a lot of returns because of the fault and all that. incomplete work was I think part of the story. And now with so many rejects and all that, they went down and sat and wanted to know what was the problem, and they realized that the neutral tenants that they were working on, they were working on what? They were working on what? They were working to make a lot of, they were working on quantity. They were looking on quantity, but they were not looking on quality. And the quality was part of them from the inception of the Kaizen technology of looking at everything from bit to bit. Quality control was like an aspect of it. I don't think you will be able to bypass it by taking very little minute changes that will be so trivial that the amygdala won't notice there is a very big difference in this thing, or a very big difference in what unsticks you from a creative block, bypasses the flight or flight response, creates new connections between neurons so that the brain enthusiastically takes over the process of change, and you progress rapidly towards your goal. Large goal. This I have to make 10 million. Large goal. Amygdala is triggered, so the fear is what is in place. Access to the cortex is restricted. You have to fail automatically. A small goal. Fear is bypassed. You bypass the amygdala. The cortex is engaged. You start thinking. You will succeed eventually. Ability. If there is a car on the planet that's reliable, or used to be, but I think it's still reliable, it's the Toyota, and they cater for vast majority. So before we proceed, there is a video. There is a video out.